Oh, Alonsov opens from the cutoff with aces. Marques defends his big blind, and look at that flop. Queen, Jack 9, 2 pair for Marques. And the all-in snap calls.
У него допер слопа.
Good luck.
Alonsov just open jammed the flop after it was checked to him. 2.4 million into a pot of 850,000.
Я тут не отскакиваю. У него 2 пары с флопа.
Good luck, my friend.
Ran right into Janina.
A little bit for him, but still, I get money. So.
He does have 5 outs. An ace or a queen.
I'm not sure I like your hand though.
Would help him.
It's gonna be counterfeit.
Ooh, Mr. Bergstrom.
Bold prediction.
Mr. Bergstrom.
4 of clubs on the turn. So additional outs now. Obviously there is the club draw for Marques, but the ace of diamonds, 3 queens, 3 fours could save Sergei Alonsov. The river card is a 10, and we have our first KO from the final table.
Good luck.
Sergei Alonsov from Belarus cashes for 233,050 euros, taking us down to the final 5.
Not sure it's going to get much better than this. On 7 big blinds, Jaehyung Park is all in. Marques makes the easy call off. Marques, the favorite, Park at risk. But a fair amount of equity, 35% of the time, will survive, will double up.
Who has what? Ace queen here. Okay.
Come on, Anton.
All right, let's run it.
10-high flop. Good news for Park. Now it's Marques who has to catch up to knock him out. Daedalus says, I hope Park smiles if he wins. He's going to have to fade the turn and river. Fades the turn. I can see a smile brewing under there. The river. Smile. No smile. Double up Park.
Runken's button. Pocket 4s for the chip leader. He's got the sailboats.
Mamma mia, here we go again. No, Pedro's in the big blind. He can't ship this.
But he is going to raise big.
And Anton is going for it.
With ace-10, Marques folds. Runken calls, and we're off to the races.
No.
Anton Bergstrom is flipping for his tournament life and will need to hit to survive.
Like 4 calling birds versus 3 French hens. One of these two things has a slight mathematical advantage.
Like tired versus cooked. One of these two men is lit poorly.
The flop is King 9-9.
That's pretty fair, yeah.
That's not bad for Bergstrom. Anytime you've got counterfeit potential, you're liking it. Aces, kings, and 10s working for him right now.
Jack of diamond? Yeah. No. There's no 3 or deuce or 4. 4 would.
Jack of diamond would be.
Deuce.
The deuce on the turn does not give him any additional outs. 9 cards. Anton Bergstrom can hit to keep the 3-time dream alive.
Should have used them today. Played terrible.
Ace, king, or 10 required.
Yeah.
The river is an 8. And Anton Bergstrom departs in 5th place. Cashes for 303,000 euros. Runken taking a hand off. Not going to play 7-3 offsuit. Okay. So it's Marques on the button with Jack 8 of hearts. Now he can start leveraging.
All in.
Shoves on the 2 shorter stacks.
Max pressure, like it a lot.
Oz has the spraggy, ace-7 offsuit. Don't do it, buddy.
Ace 6 suited, it was a no. Ace 7 off is a yes.
Oh, wow. He is all in with a cursed hand. Park is out with 10-8, and the cards go on their backs. Oz slightly ahead. It's almost a flip. Ace 7 against Jack 8 here.
Yep, that's why these combinations are so good. When we get shallow, we can apply a lot of pressure because they end up having a lot of equity when called by combinations exactly like this. You'll note as well the 13 big blinds in the small blind. That was the cutoff for Oz. Previously, not a call when deeper. 13 was the cutoff in his mind, it would seem. And we're going to run it, guys. Pretty much a pre-flop flip.
Oz is going to need ace high to hold to survive. He's the at-risk player here.
Well, not good.
There is an 8 on the flop. Pedro Marques takes the lead. It's no longer a flip. Oz is now a significant dog, 4-1 underdog, and his best hope of survival here is to spike an ace.
How about a 9?
Turn card is a king, no additional outs. Only an ace on the river saves him. Barry Greenstein needs to make an appearance or we are going three-handed at the EPT Prague main event final table. The river card is a 6. And we see Barak Oz eliminated in 4th place. He'll receive 393,950 euros.
Yep, got to play this one. Min raise.
9 raise.
Yep,
400.
400,000. Runken folds Jack 6 in the small blind. King 3 of diamonds for Marques in the big blind.
Yep, how does Marques want to play this one? We can do some 3-betting, we can do some calling.
Call.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is a nightmare three-handed.
How? What's your expression about blockers, Joseph?
Buddy, right here, read the shirt.
Blockers are not real.
Available on joestapleton.com.
Wait, guys, it went check on the flop like light speed.
It did.
We're already on the turn.
Do they ever end up chopping this?
I mean, there is a 14% chance that happens.
$375.
They're both going to slow play it to 8th Street.
So with it going check on the flop, Marques leads the turn for 375,000. Park with the best hand right now.
9 raise.
Raises.
1,300,000.
Gulp.
Makes it 1.375 million, so it's an additional milli. Marques playing time bank cards, thinking about how to respond to this raise.
$4 million.
No, I think we can only call if we want to continue.
4.1 million.
Oh my,
How?
absolutely unreal.
How?
What?
Unreal.
A laydown.
And 2 queens versus a button open.
1.75.
And Park in a bit of a conundrum here because Jack 10 of clubs is a hand that we sort of feel obligated to defend. It's going to be, I would imagine, some high card, low card combos, which we do really, really well against. Obviously, if we knew we were up against queens, we would be putting this hand into the muck pretty quickly.
Sure, but against an unknown hand, you think this is a call in position?
Does seem likely. I mean, obviously, we're playing off a short stack. He might even consider shoving. I think this is in general, the standard. As I say again, you can sort of play a bit more liberally versus the stack you're directly competing against. And big flop incoming.
King 10-3, second pair for Park. Marcus, huge favorite here with queens.
Yeah, and kind of same situation for both players. Medium satisfied for this. Neither with a heart. Pedro will be a little bit wary of the king.
Yeah.
And Park, likewise, taking a read on his player, dialed in.
425.
And comes with 10%. I think this is a good sizing. If we imagine, you know, a lot of the reason you're betting big on flops or even medium sizes to make sure you can get the money in over 3 streets. Here, there's no problem.
Park calls and spikes his jack on the turn. He now has 2 pair.
Yeah, and Marques, I mean, ace-queen isn't that likely a hand when we have 2 queens, but jack-10, king-jack, king-queen, ace-queen, queen-9.
What a ridiculous turn card. I mean, Marcus still has 38% equity, Sam. Could still improve to a set, could still make a straight.
Yeah, and you see, not...
Wow. Park just pulls the trigger on the turn, rips for 4 million.
Yeah, and Marques now with a puzzle to solve. Wanted to see it go check, check. Can he, is he up against a hand like ace X of hearts, 9-8, 9-8 of hearts, something like that? Is he ever dead? I mean, he can't be dead, but yeah, I mean, I guess unlike the ace queen, but is he against a really strong hand like pocket tens? Very tough. Where is he in his own range? Really, really hard. And he'll be thinking through also what he knows about Park. That timing, the quick all-in.
Very quick.
Yeah, I think it does rule out ace-queen, arguably. But also, perhaps less likely to be a semi-bluff. Not fun at all.
Now, Marcus has already made one huge laydown to Park. They both flopped trip kings.
Wow.
And Marcus got away from it on the turn, somehow.
Wow, that's very impressive. Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say that Pedro might lay this down. He might have just wanted to put it in himself and make sure that ace-jack has a tough decision, or jack X of hearts ends up calling, ace X of hearts has a tough decision, etc., etc. Having checked, probably giving, I mean, it does just make sense that he's got a hand like king-jack, king-10, jack-10. You know, a hand like even as strong as king-10 of clubs might feel vulnerable here with so many straight draws, the flush draw, and I think Pedro will sort of decipher that in the end. And if we imagine, oh, I don't know, we shall see. We shall see what he comes to. Not an easy decision.
Utilizing those time bank cards, that's what they're for. Buying you extra time when you have a tough decision to make.
Yeah, and it's hard to get a read because, I mean, even if he's got a bluff, it's going to be one with good equity. And that's also another reason sometimes you want to sort of lay down your hand because, you know, if best case scenario is 9-8 of hearts, then, you know, we're either
fold.
dead or... And he does lay it down, makes the big fold. And that's a huge swing in favor of Park.
Park all in again.
Wow, and Runken
makes the call. Domination situation. This could be it for Park. In all likelihood, this is it for Park.
will need a 6.
Need a 6. I guess his suits are also live. Park is a player that a lot of folks would have had going out at some point yesterday. Managed to take an, I don't know, 11 or 12 big blind stack from 8 or 9-handed, make it all the way to third.
It's very important laddering. Can he go further?
No 6. However, the 5 and the 7 do interact somewhat with that 6.
They do.
Which means we could have a sweat on the turn.
A king would see Park dead. Chops available.
Opportunities develop.
Chop, chop.
Hey, all right, we got a little grin out of Jaehyung Park. Haven't seen much of that.
Again, we would go heads up.
We do go heads up.
Well played.
GG
Park. Well played.
to Jaehyung Park. Great run from the South Korean. Traveled a long, long way to play this tournament.
What we do? We have a show.
Increasingly strong players coming over from Asia to enjoy the EPT. That little
I hope
Grimace,
he's
fist bump.
happy. We had him as,
It's an amazing score, Joe.
yeah.
Oh, and Runken here, picking up the ace-king. And doesn't shove, just goes for a raise, hoping to get limp shoved on by a weaker holding. And Pedro with a hand that can actually call this raise. Yeah, it's a really nice part. I mean, there's a few of them, but the one in Tinska, James, you have to check out. Yeah, let's see what Pedro wants to do. But I suspect he will continue. And we can see it matches up very nicely in actuality against the ace-king.
I can hear the booming voice of Nick Walsh on the floor introducing the final of the Spin and Go Championship.
And Runken playing a very controlled strategy, checking over to Pedro. What Pedro wants to do with the 7. Checks back in position.
Now I'd like to introduce our finalists. Hailing from Spain, we have Carlos. Can we give it up for Carlos, please?
Checks again. And that might be a green light for Pedro to start value betting his hands. Does better than Jack 7, check twice. Not too often, we suspect.
1.5.
And it's a big sizing.
1.5 into 2.8.
And again, look at the way he just sets it up to be able to shove rivers as well. And Runken would have loved it to go check, check again. We can imagine all sorts of bluffs. So ace-king, a hand that can outdraw a queen or a 7 quite easily and is the best hand sometimes. Nice to continue. That's not a great card, I wouldn't imagine, in Paul Runken's mind. As again, the 8-5s, 8-9s, 8-10s of this world make a pair. Does Pedro go for it all on this river?
No.
He does.
Nice shove from Pedro. Good sense of where he is. And Runken with a bluff catcher.
Everyone who's funkin' for Runken calling for a fold.
And it is quite a nice bluff catcher. It's worth taking your time about. Obviously, king high and ace high in general don't get bluffed here. Maybe we can imagine a king 5 on occasion, but in general, we unblock bluffs. The thing is, we would like to have a piece of the board. Obviously, you know, ace 3 is significantly better.
I think
the thought in Runken's mind is just, obviously Markesh is going to be limp calling, some suited combos, but how often does, say, like a flopped diamond draw for Markesh, will he be checking that back on the flop versus betting? Because obviously that's going to be one of the more obvious draws that did not improve.
Oh, makes the call with the ace-king high.
And that is a full double up for Pedro Marques, and that does change things significantly. Yes, Runken still has the advantage, but Marques is now playing 40 big blinds. Runken with 70 bigs.
Yeah, it would have been an amazing way to win an EPT title. Calling with ace-king high doesn't work out.
Aces for Runken. King 9 for Marques. Certainly good enough for a poke.
Yeah, I think he'll check this back. I think if he had suited king 9, occasionally we want to raise, but
No raise. Unraised pot to the flop. 10-7-7.
yeah, and I wonder if Runken ever checks this back. Obviously, there's a lot of straight draws we can get value from. It's sort of a hand that's so hard to outdraw.
Does check it back. Queen of spades on the turn.
Pedro checks again. And now, with the queen and 10 that Runken can get value from, and a flush draw out there, will put out some money. Half pot, full pot, indeed. Interesting. And I think king 9 certainly would have considered versus a smaller bet. I mean, it's quite nice to have a hand that can improve and is on occasion the best hand.
For sure.
A little bit strange, and he will. Credit to Runken because he chisels out 1.2 million of value here against just king high with that deceptive check back. Oh, what a river.
Ooh.
And Runken won't be able to see this straight draw, I don't believe. 8-9 might just bet out itself. So there shouldn't be too many straights in Marquez's range. And I wonder if he goes big again here. See, it's nice to imagine we could get value from Jack 10 or Queen Jack.
4.8.
And he's going huge on the river, over betting the pot, 4.8 into 3.6.
Yeah, and the question for Pedro is, does he jam or does he just call? It's a very polarized bet. Does he have to ever worry about a full house or an ace-king straight? He doesn't have the nuts, but he does have a very, very strong hand. Is this a slow-played 7-8? Or is this a sort of somehow, I don't know, pocket 10s or ace-king?
Ace is cracked by running straight cards. This is such a Joker Stars hand.
Yeah, and Pedro, considering what to do, can he get called by worse if he jams? Or is he just killing himself against ace-king? That's what he's working through. It's a genuine tank, I do believe. Trying to assess.
All in.
There he goes. He puts it in the middle. And frustration for Runken. Aces reduced to a bluff catcher.
When he made that big hero call with ace high, which was not correct, if he calls here with aces, he is not correct.
Yeah, and I think the overbet, I mean, what hands does he overbet?
Sorry?
He's sort of almost repped
12,300.
a 7x or a straight.
12,300.
I would imagine that this is too much money to go into the middle. We shall see.
Yeah,
If he, go ahead, Maria.
Yeah, it's just not very often, I think, that when you bet such a polarizing sizing on the river that people are going to be able to check jam over that sizing, with hands that I think aces is going to be performing well against at this point.
We'll see the big
You won't
switcheroo.
believe what I have. I have aces.
And nice of a
Go for
Runken to
value with the
Shh.
queen
wha-
jack. That would be something.
He's just considering,
Can you tell me, please, how many timings I used?
does worse ever shove for value? He says, would
Third one.
Queen Jack play like this?
Queen jack, you go for value, yeah? No, I don't think it just. Fuck. I have 20 seconds. Okay. If I pay, I stay.
And
Queen jack. Queen jack.
Runken taking some time to think it through, showing some of his personality there. Realizing
Nice, and
He folds.
Queen 10, Queen jack. Well done.
Marcus raising with King Queen. Runken shoving with Queen Jack.
wow, and this could be it.
And that is a call. And it is a domination situation. And if King Queen holds here against Queen Jack, we have a winner.
Pedro Marquez,
Domination nation.
long time pro,
Good luck.
on the brink of a title which he will forever be associated with if he can hold. Join a long list of EPT champions. Runken looking for that jack.
24% chance. Five cards to come. The flop is king high. It's not looking good for Runken. He's down to 4%. It could be all over on the turn.
Lano. Lano, pe.
Runken stands awaiting his fate.
The turn card is a deuce and it's over. We have our champion here in Prague.
That's the J, man. That's it.
It is Pedro Marques, the second most successful poker player in Portuguese history. Only João Vieira has more than him on the Portuguese all-time money list, and he's just added another 963,450 euros to his poker CV.
Yeah, an absolutely wonderful final table performance. A great guy, really liked within the poker community, and now poker immortality with an EPT title. And congrats to Paul Runken, second place finisher.
How much have we enjoyed watching this guy over the last few days? How much have we enjoyed the way he wielded that chip lead yesterday and today? That bluff he pulled off yesterday will live in poker history. It's going to be one of those hands you see again and again and again.
Pedro, we're huge fans watching you for the last 5 days. You played with almost no emotion at the table. Couldn't tell if you were happy, sad, anything else. I can tell you're happy right now. You obviously are an emotional person. How do you keep the emotions in check when you're at the table?
I mean, I just think that when you're playing poker, it's not good to have too many ups or too lows. I just think it's better to keep it in the middle and stay relaxed and play hand by hand. So, yeah.
I mean, you made an amazing comeback today. Were you feeling low at any point?
I mean, yeah, at a certain point where we four-handed or three-handed, I thought that my chances were really low, but yeah, in poker you never know. Everything can happen and yeah, all can change.
And I know that you've come close a few times on the tour before. You finally did it. Tell me what that means to you.
I mean, yeah, this is huge for me, man. I've been playing this for 10 years, and it's an amazing feeling. I hope, one day everybody here in this room can have this feeling because it's fucking great. Yeah.
Fantastic. Pedro, thanks very much.
You heard the man. It's effing great. He will be presented with that trophy in just a few moments. I'll tell you what, guys, this final table went a lot quicker than I anticipated, and not in the way that I think anyone necessarily saw. We had 3 very quick eliminations today. You joined us for the second level of the day, Sam. We were already three-handed.
Yeah, remarkable.
Alonsov first player out, followed by Anton Bergstrom. And again, highlighting, we came into the day with the prospect of our first ever 3-time EPT winner. Yesterday, Anton Bergstrom finally was prepared to reveal that he is the player behind the online handle What If God. What If God won 2 EPT online titles in back-to-back years, 2020 and 2021. Could have won his 3rd EPT trophy today, but had to make do with a 5th place finish. Barak Oz is going to be taking the better part of 400k back to Israel. Remember, he's going to be getting married in a few months. Weddings are expensive, but I'm going to say that money will help.
Yeah, certainly. Huge score for Barak.
Maria, Jaehyung Park just clung on and laddered superbly. When you consider he was the short stack with 9 players remaining, $500,000 is not a bad result.
Yeah, life comes at you fast. 1 minute, you're burning time banks trying to make a ladder, and next you come in 3rd. You got to be happy with that.
And when we got heads up, Paul Runken had such a big advantage. We said, look, this could be over in just a few hands. But Pedro Marques would not lie down. And yes, I think we saw that experience. I think we saw that pedigree come to the fore. And crucially, when he was able to get almost even with Paul Runken, they were able to strike that deal. 900k each, playing for the additional 63.5k and the trophy. Once again, after the heads-up battle started and they were even, Runken had the chip advantage. Looks like it was going to be Pedro finishing 2nd. In back-to-back hands, we saw Runken lose the chip lead, and then the very next hand, Pedro Marques close it out. He is an EPT champion, he is a winner, and he now gets to receive the winner's trophy. So back down to the tournament floor and Joe Stapleton.
Hello and welcome to the trophy presentation for the EPT Prague main event. Joining me on stage with our worthy champion is King's Poker Room manager, Jan Rakusan. Tournament director, Toby Stone. PokerStars European Business Development Manager, Julian Liarte. EPT Live Events Manager, Margarita Kuzmina. And PokerStars Live Events Associate Director, Cedric Below. Before we hand over the trophy, Cedric would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Joe. As we are closing the last PokerStars live event of the year, I want to address a warm thank you to many, many people. First and foremost, our partner King's Casino here in Prague, partner for many, many years. It's an amazing EPT in Prague, everyone loves it. Thank you very much for hosting and being an amazing partner with us. Of course, a big, big thank you to all PokerStars live events team. It has been a very busy year, many, many locations worldwide, great job being done. Represented by Julian and Margarita, fantastic job by the whole EPT team, and in general, all PokerStars colleagues, everyone involved. They are, of course, not only PokerStars. The live event involves many, many other persons. You see the TV production, the dealers, the partners, the media, many, many people. It's been a splendid year. But of course, the players. Nothing of it would be possible without your support, guys, all players. Your loyalty is amazing to see for us. We hope to see many of you next year at our live events. And just Merry Christmas to all of you now. Thank you very much. Now it's time for the winner.
Thank you, Cedric. And now there's only one thing left to do, besting a field of 1,458 to take the title and nearly €1 million for first place. Please give it up to Pedro Marques.
A very deserving champion. And that trophy lift will close out EPT 2024.